Reading comprehension is a complex task that requires the ability to identify and know the meaning of words and to connect new ideas to prior knowledge. It also requires students to hold on to new information long enough to be able to understand it. So one way for students who struggle with reading comprehension to better grasp what they're reading is through the use of graphic organizers. Graphic organizers can be used with and are beneficial to each and every student, but for students who specifically struggle with reading comprehension, they can make a world of difference. So these are just a few of the advantages of graphic organizers. First, graphic organizers actively engage the student while they are reading. Students can reference their sheet and think about what they're looking for in the story as they're reading. They also act as a visual tool for students to see what they've read, and it helps the students connect any new information that they're receiving from the story and connect it to any prior knowledge that they might have. So graphic organizers also help with the introduction of new vocabulary words. And last, although not really last because there are a ton of advantages to graphic organizers, is that these organizers can be completed during reading. So by filling out the organizer as they go, the student doesn't have to hold on to that information until the end. And being able to record important information as they go is super helpful to students who struggle with reading comprehension and also for students who struggle with memory recall. So we're going to look at a couple of graphic organizers, 3 of them that I picked out. First is the story map. So as I already mentioned, graphic organizers can be completed during or following a reading, and that applies for story maps as well. Most story maps are intended to focus on the key elements of a character, of the setting, conflict, and resolution within a story. And it's really helpful to students who struggle with reading comprehension. I think this is one of the better graphic organizers. I really like story maps. I really like using it with kids that I work with. And this is just a zoomed in of a story map that I've used with kids before, and this one just focuses on, the main characters of the story, the setting, the problem, the story's events, how the problem was solved, and then the ending of the story. These are fairly straightforward and simple, but again, I really think that they're beneficial for students. All right, this next one is the Venn diagram. This organizer is, again, really straightforward. It's used to compare and contrast 2 or more people, places, things, etc. A Venn diagram is very easy to create. It's literally just 2 circles overlapping. Students can create this on their own at any time, anywhere, whether they're at school, at home, whatever. It's very easy for them to use, that they can use with stories or when they're learning about, different things that they can compare and contrast. It allows them to visually see the similarities and differences between those 2 things, which is really helpful for them. And that's just a zoomed in view of a basic Venn diagram. Alright, next is the KWL charts. I first learned about this graphic organizer when I was taking my SEI class this summer, and I was immediately interested in using it with my kiddos. What I like most about this organizer is that it gets the students thinking about the topic. It activates their background knowledge on the topic or the story, and it also encourages a deeper thinking and asks them, what do I know, what do I want to find out, and what did I learn? KWL charts help students find a purpose in what they're learning or reading, and it keeps them engaged as they go along. It's a really useful way for them to track information as they read also. So there's the zoomed in. You have the what do I know, what I already know, what I want to know, and what I learned. And there's also an adapted version. It's a KWL plus. So it's the same premise, what I know, what I want to know, what I learned, and then it also has another column for them of what questions they might not have answered, but they're still interested in finding out. So I think that's useful for them as well. So those are just a couple of the graphic organizers that I've personally used with some students. Like I said, there's so many more, and what's really awesome about graphic organizers is that teachers can create them too on their own. The ones that I use were fairly straightforward and simple. I mean, any teacher can create something similar to this and have it relevant to the topics that they're using as well. These are a great way to keep the students engaged again, which we all know is really important, especially for students who struggle. It keeps them engaged and motivated. So I really like graphic organizers. And that is my method presentation. Thanks.